Year travel rush officially begins next week in China. It will likely be different from other years. Joining us now to talk about that is Mei Zhang. She's the founder and CEO of the award-winning travel company WildChina and author of Travels Through Dali with a Leg of Lamb. This travel rush, as you know, it occurred just as this pandemic was starting to crop up. So this year it's a different story altogether. As I just mentioned, we're starting to see a resurgence in areas. What do you think we learned from last year, and how might that impact what we're going to see this year, do you think?
First of all, thank you for having me, and early happy Chinese New Year. I think this year people have learned a lot. First, the government issued what you just said, do not travel, a travel advisory to the general public. And I am totally surprised. The majority, almost all of my employees and relatives and friends and people I know are all staying put. Not necessarily because of government measures, but more they know the danger that's involved and they heed the government advice immediately. So this year you are going to see 50% drop, 50 to 60% drop of the greatest movement of humanity on Earth.
Let me ask you this question then, because I think it's so interesting what you just said, because here in the United States, and I think in a lot of Western countries, you see this COVID fatigue where people are just chomping at the bit to get out and to travel, even if there is a danger. And yet there, we saw this story where you see this medical student just draped in this protective gear, willing to risk it, but that's about it. I mean, talk to me about this psyche.
I think you see both. Majority of the people are experiencing COVID fatigue as well as the ones living in the United States. And you could see that after July 14th last year, when the government relaxed on the travel ban, immediately the surge of travel domestic interest was through the roof, something I've never seen in my 20 years in travel industry. However, Chinese New Year, just to paint the picture, you know, China has a population of 1.4 billion people, and normal year over Chinese New Year travel period, 3 billion travel trips are taken. That means each person takes to and back. Everyone's on the road. And so the risk involved sounds off this alarm among the population. And majority of people know it will get better, and it's just another month or two hunkering down until the vaccine is broadly received.
It's such an important period of the year, though. Talk to me about the disappointment you must be hearing from people.
Yes. Right before this call, I actually called our housekeeper for 18 years in Beijing, and in my entire time of knowing her for the past 18 years, she has never missed a trip home. And she's from Anhui. And this time she says, I have this little apartment in Beijing that's a rental in the suburb. I have to stay here for Chinese New Year. I desperately want to go home. But two things. One is the neighborhood movement, all the neighborhood sisters or the organizers have knocked on her door and told her, please don't go home, stay. And secondly, her relatives in Anhui told her, don't come back. Even if you come back, we're not going to see you. So it's disappointing, but they know this is once in a lifetime sort of situation.
One of the things we are seeing is this slow rollout of the vaccine in different parts of the world. And as you know, we live in a world where there's a worldwide pandemic, so all of us impacted in a sense. How long before you can start to get back to what you do best and what's been basically impacting your business? I know that this has been a real struggle for you as well, so talk to us about that.
I wish I have the crystal ball, right? For us, WildChina, majority of our business last year before 2020 was focused on bringing high-end travelers into China. That came to a complete stop as of January 2020, right? So now it's a full year in cycle. And we were very lucky in the second half of the year when tourism in China loosened up, and the entire team, my hats off to my team in China, everyone pivoted to serve the domestic market. So we could barely make ends meet for the second half of, and we were looking forward to a fantastic 2021 until January this stay home, pretty much stay home, celebrate Chinese New Year order came, massive cancellation came in again for domestic travel. So for the ones like me, my colleagues in the trenches of tourism, this is the second winter. It's a prolonged pandemic, and we can't wait. And we can't wait to get vaccine and get testing broadly available and people get back on the road again. And for now, we're looking at Q2, Q3 this year.
Oh, well, fingers crossed, because boy, it's been a long haul, hasn't it?
It has indeed.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Always great to talk to you, and all the best. Hope things turn the corner soon for you.
Thank you. Come travel with WildChina again.